Okay, good afternoon everybody. I'm going to try and make a video of this NV200 that I bought and made it to a camper, a mini camper. I see everybody's doing it, and I figured I got to give it a shot and give it a try and see how it's going to work out. So it's a 2021. Last year they're making these things from what I understand, and they ain't no different than any of the other ones. Real quick, and I'll show you, of course. There is the NV200. Most everybody knows what they look like. And what I did was get a brief look. I'm going to cut right to the chase because I don't like when people drag it out. So inside, let me turn on the lights. Inside the RV, well, the mini RV, I'm not done, so I've still got some more to do. I want to put another window in over there. My brother-in-law and I put this window in. Not such a big deal to do if you want to put in a window. You can order them at Van Windows Direct, and a window like this costs, I think, about 200 and change for the window, if I'm not mistaken, and this adhesive and whatnot. It's really very simple. You just cut out the outline and put the adhesive on, the primer and adhesive, and put the glass up to it, tape it off, leave it sit for about 4 hours. I let it sit overnight, and there you have it. So okay, so inside the van, you come in the van, open the side door, and you come in the van, and the first thing you have is, as you can see, is a sink. That's here with running water. And if I have everything turned on, it should be. Okay. Now I have a tank to go on to stop that pulsing. I didn't put that tank in yet, but that'll stop that pulsating. But it still works fine. And of course I purchased a refrigerator, freezer. This one I did a lot of research on, the Astro. And this goes down to -4 degrees, and I tell you what, I mean, it cools down, wow, 15 minutes from 81, 82 inside down to 34. Okay, so in here I have, the wiring's a little bit of a mess right now because I'm still working on it, but for the most part it's very functional anyway. I have this charger hooked up for shore charging. There's the house battery. This is my tank for gray water. It's a 5-gallon gray water tank, and controls for the other side. And I'll show you the other side of that in a minute. I'll go back over there. Now every cabinet in here and everything in here I made in my shop, and the entire cost of this van minus the cooler, that right there, and no, just minus the cooler. So everything I have invested into this came to under $1,500. Right at about $1,178, plus there was a couple other things I put on it. So it's about right at about $1,300. So it's under $1,500. So what I did was I built this box up here above the drivers, you know, back here anyway. It's a cabinet, as I've seen a lot of people do that. Inside here you can put little stuff. I put first aid kit, you know, to put up in there, and some gloves and whatever else I want to put. And then I mounted 3 lights on the bottom of it for 2 reasons. One, I wanted the light, and 2, I made this thing and I couldn't figure out how to get the screws up in there to screw it in. So I drilled 3 holes, put my extension through there and drilled them through into the brace up above, and then I had to fill the holes in, so I filled them in with lights. The ceiling is just, you know, just make your ceiling white if you're going to do it, because anything other than white is going to really make it look dark. So make your ceiling white. And I bought that at Lowe's. I think it was like $20 for the sheet. Cut that in and put the edging around it. Again, I'm not done. That cabinet, this cabinet was the first cabinet I built that goes from there to here. That went in first. Then I said, okay, I put this upper cabinet on, which has AC power for shore power, battery monitor, which is an inexpensive one. It was only like, I don't know, 10 bucks. Then I have, of course, the control panel for everything else, which is, you know, lights, pump, and then there's another one here, which turns on my outlet in the back of the van with a light, reading light, and a charging port for your phone. The cabinets, 25-pound magnets so they don't rattle when you go down the road. Formica on the inside and Formica on the outside of the cabinet here. This is Formica, 3/4 inch plywood, 1/4 inch shelf. The little baskets I got at the dollar store, they're like next to nothing. Then I made a cabinet down here with a lock on it. I don't know why I put the lock on it. Maybe because I like it. I don't know. And now I'll be putting my clothes and stuff in here. Again, and it folds down as a table. And under here, of course, you lift this up, and that's wiring and whatnot that goes through here. But it's also going to have storage for stuff that I don't use that often. And that closes up. The chains is great. You know, it was a great idea with the chains, but I'm going to get some surgical tubing and put some surgical tubing over this, because what happens is when I'm going down the road, nothing really rattles in this van, but I hear those chains rattling back there, and that kind of annoys me. So then this is my bed, okay? Now the bed, get that box out of the way. The bed goes from the back of the van to here. Now you can take a short nap. And then of course I made this here. Now what you do is, I'm gonna try to do this, is you fold this up. Let me back up a little bit. You fold this, okay? That folds up. You can fold this down. And then underneath here, I'm gonna do a little retrofitting. There's a slide rule. Let me put this camera here for a second. Like that. Okay, so that's two 500-pound draw slides that slide out. And now you've got this bed here, which I have a mattress for. It's in my shop. And you can sit on it. You can lay on it. I mean, I don't weigh no 500 pounds, of course. And you can lay out, read a book, blah, blah, blah. I do have a vent ordered, which is a ceiling vent. It'll go up here in the top corner. That should be here Thursday, I think. And when that arrives, I'll cut that in. Let me put this bed down real quick. And that's how fast you can make the bed too, by the way. You know, I mean, there it is. It's done. Bed's done. Lock it in place with a little cabinet lock, or whatever you call that. This refrigerator, I made a cabinet for it. To sit between, because I don't have a passenger, it's just me. So I fold the seat down, put the refrigerator there because I can get to it, and I made a small cabinet underneath to put whatever miscellaneous. It's not very big. I think I'll make a small one for here too, a fire extinguisher. And do yourself a favor, get a fire extinguisher. Okay, let's go to the back. Now the back, okay, so I put in shore power, which is right here. I had it plugged in. And you just take my shore power cord, which is plugged in. And now I'm on shore power. Okay, so what happens is when I go to shore power, back here, this is my 5-gallon freshwater tank, which you fill from here. This is where I store the shore cable. That goes there. And this little setup, you know, you can buy these water level indicators, but with a couple of transistors and resistors, you can build your own, and that's what I did. I built my own. So you can flip it on as you're filling it. Of course, that's a full tank. The blue is just an indicator to let me know that I left it on, and I'll explain that in a minute. You fill it from here. Little cap just pops right off. Hose goes in there. And as it's filling, the lights come on, of course, and I know that when I get to the top green, I'm full. This way I don't spray it all over, because you wind up spraying it all over because you can't see. Or if you just want to like lay in there and you're thinking about, oh, how much water do I have left? I don't know. You can just hit the button. Button tells you how much water you got in there, and then you let go. Now, if you don't have this indicator light on and I have it on, then this thing is going to stay on all the time, and I don't want it on all the time because I don't need additional lighting in here that I don't really want. Okay, that's another outdoor plug. Everything's on GFI, by the way, which is a must. This right here, if I can get back a little bit, folds up, again, folds over and out of the way. Here's a smoke detector, okay, because I have wiring back here, and if I'm laying here and something burns up down in here, I want to know about it right away. I am going to get a carbon monoxide one also and mount it where it's easy to get to. Maybe, I don't know, maybe here, maybe up there. I don't know. I'll figure out where. Now, here, of course, is the battery kill from up above. That kills it. This is my shore power control. Okay, this is giving me power that reduces it down from line power to the 12 volts. This is a relay that switches me back and forth. So when you plug in, as soon as you plug in shore power, this automatically switches and gets off the battery and goes to shore power and powers my LED lights from the electric outside. Now, there's my little pump. The water pump is down here. I have some insulation around it and a filter that filters it out. There's the sensors for the 3 level of the water tank. And it's piped up to the front. It goes up by the sink. And there's a hand shower that I'll show you when I get up there. This, if I shut this off, this disconnects the front battery altogether. Now, if you're wondering, I have it set up as you start up the van and it'll automatically charge my house battery, the battery that's back here. As soon as I shut the van off, it disconnects the house battery. Now, there's 3 ways to do that. You can do that with a relay, which is what I use because it's just simple and I don't want. You can do that with a DC-DC charger, or you can do it with a BSR, you know, variable, VSR, I think they call it BSR, I'm not sure. The reason I didn't use the other 2 is the DC to DC charger was not cheap, and I don't have that much back here to worry about it. The other charger, rather, VSL, whatever, I forget what it's called. That's another one, but the problem is it goes by voltage, and the voltage drop across the line, and my battery's too far away from the front battery. So I just went with a simple, I'll show it to you when I get to the front, a simple solenoid relay, that's it. Okay, back here I'm still working on stuff, so you got some wires that are kind of like flopping in the breeze here, but that'll all be taken care of when I'm done. So back here what you have is the gray water tank like I explained. Now, in order to get, like if you want to go with boondockers requires you to have, they won't allow a minivan in to join boondockers. So, which is an area where, like if I go across country and I want to stop at whatever, you look it up and there's people that have houses that let you park there by them, but you have to have full requirements, which is like a gray water tank, which is sealed completely to the sink, a toilet, which I have, it's just one of those portable toilets that has its own black water tank, and you have to have a sink, you have to have a bed that's not a cot, it's got to be a permanently made bed, and there's a few other requirements. But anyway, that's why I did all of this. So this tank can be removed and taken out, which meets their requirements also, and emptied out, the gray water. I don't have anything on this because to give me a level indicator. I don't need it because if it backs up, I'm going to know it in the sink anyway, right? Okay, so here's a little valve I have here. Yep, right here, you just flip this valve down, and I have this shower here, which is on just a typical bidet sprayer you could buy on Amazon, and you can see, I mean, this little pump puts out some serious water pressure. I mean, it just throws it way out there. So you can wash your hair, you can take a shower, you can do whatever you want, you know. I mean, put out a campfire if you got a campfire going. I mean, as long as you don't go past your 5 gallons of water, which I don't. I mean, you know, just use your water conservatively and you're fine. And then if you do use it, just stop at a campsite or wherever and fill it back up again. Simple, which is what I like, simple. So we have the lights, we have the plugs, GFI protected. I showed you the bed, showed you the refrigerator. And again, everything was made in my shop, which is here, and it's not, you know, cabinet work was it. Oh, here's the best part of the whole thing. If you want to use this van as a cargo van, I've set this up where everything comes out of here in about 20 minutes. This whole unit right here, the bed and this piece that goes across, is anchored down by this turnbuckle that's mounted to the floor. You just unbuckle that. Okay, unbuckle this turnbuckle. Here's the shore power connection to separate it from going across. You just unplug that. Of course, you undo the water line here. Take it off. Take it out through here. Okay, this goes into the second piece. Unplug the wire. The wires that go through there are all on a plug. This is a mounting just unmount this. This is the battery cable coming in. That disconnects the battery. There's the same type plug that's there is underneath this cabinet here. Unplug it. Then this whole cabinet right here is free. It'll probably take 2 guys. I put it in there by myself, but now that I got all the additions on it, you could probably use 2 people to just maneuver it out really quick. This top cabinet has 1 bolt over there in the top corner and 1 bolt right there at a wing nut that attaches it to this. So the hutch comes out, and that just comes out in 1 piece. You can do that by yourself. This piece right here, believe it or not, only has 1 single anchor, which is right there. And that anchor, you just unplug, just unscrew that anchor. That takes this loose. Of course, you have to disconnect your battery, that house battery. Disconnect that. Take that house battery out, because you don't want to have to try to move that. Take the gray water tank out. And this whole piece will slide right out. The only thing that's not going to come out would be this top piece, because that's screwed up in there. I mean, you could take it off, but I wouldn't. So then you'd have a cargo van again, if you needed a cargo van. Or it's that you got to move your son, or you got to move your brother-in-law or your daughter or whatever. It comes out that quickly. Except that top front cabinet, that also is just that little one on top of the freezer. That also has 1 wing nut bolt in it. 2, I'm sorry, 2. Unto those 2 wing nuts, and that's a separate unit by itself. So you have that unit, that's 1. This unit is 2. This unit is 3. And this unit is 4. You have 4 modular pieces that come out of this van, and boom, you're ready to go back to a cargo van. Hey man, you never know. Maybe you got a job or something, you got to carry something around. And there you go. Now solar is on the way. Hopefully by next month I should have a solar panel to put up on the roof and my vent. And I'll show you the wrong button. I'll show you the solenoid that I have to swap me over. Let's see, hang on 1 second. Okay, here is the solenoid that takes care of swapping. See, I bought this on, I'm wanting to say I bought that on Amazon, but I could have got it on eBay. I don't remember. I put a 40 amp breaker in. I'm not really using that much. You could probably put better than that if you want. 50, I wouldn't go any less than 40 though. So I put the 40 in there. That switches me over back and forth. Truck runs, battery in the back gets charged, truck is parked. It disconnects that so that you don't drain your house battery, your truck battery. And that's the way that goes. Well, that's it. I'm gonna put maybe and post another video. Oh, I have the mattress for this, by the way. There is a mattress that I have. I'm trying to get it, find an upholsterer that I can get it upholstered. Which is, I'm gonna try using this 2-inch memory foam. That's an old sleeping bag I was just experimenting with. And this is the accumulator tank that I have to put in to stop that pulsating. I just haven't gotten to it, but I am going to put that in probably tomorrow, and that'll stop that sink from doing that pulsating. And that's about it. So if anybody has questions or comments or whatever, you're more than welcome to put them down there. And thanks for watching. If it helps you, I hope, if you decide you want to do it. Again, this is more or less a single type. You could probably, I made this the bed I made a little bit wider than normal. You could probably, if you're young and, you know, want to get close to your wife or your girlfriend, I guess it'll work out fine. You know, more than enough room for me. I imagine you can get 2 in there. You just have to reorganize a little bit with the refrigerator, and probably take the refrigerator from up there and back here. Oh, the toilet, by the way, the toilet, which I said I have, but I'm going to buy a new one though, because, sorry, thrilled with that one. That's an old one that I had. Really never got used, but it's been sitting in my shop for so long, and I lost one of the plugs for it, so it's not really very good to me. But I used it as measurements. the toilet will go underneath here. So when you need it, of course, you have to open this, pull that toilet out, close it back up, use your toilet, do your business, and then put it back, take it somewhere and empty it where you're supposed to properly empty it. I think I told you I put a battery level indicator here to tell you what your battery status is. Very cheap, very, you know, 92%. Or you can just tell us the voltage, 12.8. It's a switch back and forth, off, and then 90%. So, and of course there's another one here that's telling you it's 11 because I'm on the shore power right now. And being on shore power, it disconnects that battery, and I've got to increase the voltage on the shore power, which is easy to do. All I have to do is, I just haven't done it yet, is come in here and there's an adjustment. We have a variable resistor back here, and you just have to get in there with a screwdriver and jack the voltage up a little bit. I want to bring it up to like 12.5. And again, there's your little boop, that smoke detector. Of course, your light I have here, pretty bright at night, kind of puts you just got a dimmer on it too. Of course, oh, I have a curtain. I didn't put the curtain up yet, but the curtain is going to go across there. I have it. I'm not done with that. I mean, I'll do another video when it's complete with the solar panels and the vent and the curtain and whatever other goodies I can figure out I want to put in here. If anybody knows on how I can attach something to this back door panels, I do want to put something over it to like make it look good. Oh, the carpet, by the way, I bought this carpet on eBay. It turned out to be like a almost 100% match to what the factory put in, and this carpet only wound up costing me like 30 bucks. It was relatively cheap. The bins were from Lowe's, $10 each. I just drilled a hole in them. The top, what I did with the top is silicone. You can't take this off. I had to silicone the entire top on the inside so that it sloshes around, it doesn't leak. And believe me, it's 100% watertight, which I'm thrilled with. A simple bulkhead fitting that I bought on eBay, I believe, and they were cheap also. Put that in the bottom. And the sensors were also eBay, I believe, which are nothing more than screws with rubber grommets in it. Tighten them up, they clamp in there, and that's your sensors. If anybody's interested on how to make this themselves instead of buying it, I could probably show you how to make them. It's really not that difficult. If you know a little bit of electronics, you're good to go. A couple of just transistors and resistors, that's it, and some LED lights. And that's about all I have. Up here soon. I'll be taking this out. I hope I have plans to take it out to go to a few places. I'm in South Carolina, so I would like to take it to I think Yellowstone I want to hit. There's a few places I want to hit. So when I do that, I'll make some videos as I go, and we'll see what the goods and the cons and the pros and all that good stuff is. In the meantime, God bless everybody. Be careful, be safe, and thanks for watching. Bye.